It's 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. Y'all are listening to Vonnie in the City. Happy Sunday, happy fun day, all that kind of good stuff, y'all. I've been absent. I wasn't here last week. I miss y'all. I hope you miss me too. Anywho, we are jumping right in. I have a special guest from New York that is going to be in the building with me today. She'll be here in a little bit, so you all please stay tuned. Rock with me for the next hour. Let's have some fun. And yeah, talk to me in the comments, those of you that are watching live on our social media platforms. Those of you that are tuned in on the app. I appreciate you all, but we're gonna have a good show per usual, and I'm excited. So, a few things that we're going to talk about today, just to give you a quick rundown of today's show. I am actually going to touch on something from the past. I am going to touch on an old topic, but it needs to, I feel like it needs to still be talked about, discussed, heard. So, we've talked so much here, so much about police brutality, but I want to talk about Miss Taylor today. So I know we always laugh and have fun together, but I want to talk a little bit about some serious stuff. So y'all stay tuned for that. I actually watched Jada Pickett's red table, excuse me, and that's what really made me. It was pressed on my heart for me to discuss it today. So I want you guys to stay tuned. We are going to talk about that. You're going to hear my perspective. I may have a little bit of a different perspective or a more interesting perspective. So, yeah, you guys stay tuned for that to hear my feedback on where I feel or where we are with that. I always say that everybody can have a different look on things. Six people can see the same story or have the same whatever and have six different narratives, right? We're going to see six different things. So that's what makes us unique. That's what makes us different. I'm also going to talk politics today because, as y'all know, I'm going to be running for office. So we got to talk political, right? We'll talk for talk about that. So stay tuned. I also want to play Would You Rather. And last but not least, as I leave you all with my M&Ms, my motivational minutes, I want to talk about faith without works is dead versus what God has for me is for me. I think a lot of times we toy with both of those. We wonder, if it's meant for me, it'll be. Or do I have to go chase it? Do I got to go get that thing? So let's talk about that too. So, yeah, stay tuned. I'm excited. I can't wait to talk about all these great, amazing topics. I can't wait to hear what you all have to say about them as well. Because y'all know I like to talk to my listeners. I like to hear what y'all got to say and what y'all got going on. Your feedback, be like, Vonnie, I ain't with it. Or tell me, yep, you all the way on board. So give me your feedback, y'all. So let's start with politics. Okay. And as I've told you all before, I'm super excited. I am running for office. Not yet, not right now, but in 2024. So I have to get ready to tell y'all all about it. I will be running for the seat of clerk of Superior Court in Clayton County for Ms. Jacqueline Willis's seat. So I'm excited. What does that entail? Everybody's like, well, is that a job or, it's a clerical position? It's administrative. So yes, it is a paid position. However, it is on the ballot. It will be on the ballot in 2024 in Clayton County. So a few things for you all to look for. It is an at-large position. What does that mean? It means that everybody in Clayton County get to vote for it. Okay, it is not district or certain areas where Riverdale has to vote for it or Jonesboro has to vote for it or any of that in between. Everybody in Clayton County will be able to vote for this seat. So that is exciting alone in itself because sometimes it just falls really weird the way the boundaries are. And all your friends might live over here in the deep end of Fayetteville, but you can't even vote for you. So everybody under the realm of Clayton County will have the opportunity to vote for this position. So I'm super excited. I am going to be looking for volunteers. I am going to be looking for some money. I'm going to be doing fundraisers, all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, in a nutshell, I'm excited. I'm nervous. I can't wait, but I'm like, ooh, is this too much? but we're gonna roll with it. And so I'm gonna be looking for y'all support. I'm gonna be calling you. I'm gonna be knocking on your door. I'm gonna have my crew with our Vonnie in the City shirts on, our Vote for Vonnie shirts on, all that kind of great stuff. So I'm super, super excited. And yeah, I'm ready for the ride. So in a nutshell, let's talk a little bit about current politics. Tomorrow is the first day for early voting. Why is that important? Because we know election day is not until November 8th, but everybody's talking about early voting. We know, I think most of us know, if life happens or can happen or will happen, it happens, right? So the reason that you're encouraged to vote early is because we want to prepare for those mishaps, those unexpectancies. If you get to the polls too late, if you forget your ID, if you don't have a sitter, if you whatever it is that prohibits you from being able to get there on time, if you early vote, you don't have to worry about those problems, right? Because again, life happens. Whatever you think could, should, would, whatever, that gives you the opportunity to prevent those kind of mishaps and still be able to cast your vote. Even in 2022, voter suppression is real, y'all. So it's still happening. People are going to where they voted for years, get there and are told that they're in the wrong place. And it might be 6 o'clock because you get off at 5, right? And now you can't vote. But if you early vote, that gives you the opportunity for what could go wrong, will go wrong, all that kind of good stuff. So, yeah, get out and vote as early as tomorrow, you guys. Vote, 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 cast your ballots. For me, this election is so important for a few reasons. I know a lot of us only go out for the presidential election, but this election is important to me because I'm a woman. And if you all know the climate that we're in right now, whether you believe or don't believe in certain things, our rights as women are being taken away from us. And I know this is a touchy subject or things of that nature, but let's just say you are that person that does not believe in the big elephant in the room. So the right to be able to choose abortion or not is being taken away. And let's just say you are against abortion and that whatever your beliefs are, but how about if you and your significant other are trying to conceive and have a baby or whatever the case is and you have a miscarriage? Do you know that you can be interrogated and questioned and even have allegations brought against you because of a miscarriage as well? Because by any means, they want to know if that miscarriage was in fact a miscarriage or was it foul play? Did you attempt to abort your pregnancy? So now you have to grieve well could have very well been a legitimate, and I use air quotes because whatever that means to you, miscarriage, and then also be questioned, interrogated, and accused for so much more. So that's just if that is not enough reason for you to get out and vote, I don't know what is, y'all. I really don't. And for my friends, because I love everybody, I really do, that feel like my vote doesn't count or, things of that nature. And I get it. I get it because we had a very interesting election, one of our past presidential elections where the president won and it was not by popular vote. So I do understand that stance. However, your vote still counts because even when it's not by popular vote, the number of votes for your state still was in favor of to some degree, if that makes sense. And I don't want to go to election class today or whatnot, or political school today, if you will, because I got so many other things that we want to talk about, and that's a whole subject or genre in itself. But I ask you this: do you think that people died for no reason? So I want to encourage you for that reason. People gave their life so that we can have the right to be able to have a voice. And I feel like so many people that say that, well, voting doesn't matter, this, that, and the third, will be the same people hollering and hooting that if we couldn't vote, you'd be mad then. So take 2 minutes out of your day, whether it's to go in person or if you don't have time to, an absentee ballot. It's so many different options available, readily available. So, anywho, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back. I'm going to have my left hand lady with me, and we're going to talk some more. Okay, y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
So it seems I got some enemies, yeah. I can feel it in your energy, yeah. I see you hating on what's meant to be, but a nigga too blessed to be stressed out. I'm too blessed, I'm too blessed to be stressed out. I'm too blessed, I'm too blessed to be stressed. We've been kicking it hard for a minute. I cherish the memories all that we've been through. I guess that I didn't prepare for the moment that we couldn't work through our issues. Difference between us and time is the reason, and really I can't even blame you. It is what it is. I gotta forgive. Shit, I don't wanna change you. I gotta respect that we had a connection. That shit was the truth. The natural selection. I call it divine intervention. No lessons when I was a youth. Had different direction. We had to define our blessings for trying to get in the game. I still came through in the clutch. Fourth quarter with range. I'm calling static on the line. Lose my senses. Destined for greatness. While stuck in place with my mental dedication. But still at times I will forget myself. Caught up in some shit. Hesitation I probably felt because of empty validation from somebody else. I never wanted to be amongst some. Watch your step, take me back to realer times when we was fine. We could talk without the drama. Now we fuss and fight, living life, bonding over trauma. I release you, girl. Said I release you, girl. Yeah. Said I release you, girl. Said I release you. Yeah, cause tides turn, baby. Tides turn. I'm so wavy. Yeah, so baby, don't chase me. I hope you get home safely. Yeah, cause tides turn, baby. Tides turn. So wavy. Yeah, so baby, don't chase me. I hope you get home safely. I really don't know what we're gonna be, but I gotta let go, girl. Cause you disturbing my peace. Really feel it's that time now. You need some time and some space, so I gotta let you know, girl. Gotta put you back in your place. Then I gotta move on, just move on, move on, move on, just move on, move on, just move on, move on, move. Cause time's up, baby, time's up, time's up. I'm so wavy. Yeah. So baby, don't chase me. I hope you get home safely. Yeah. Cause time's turn, baby. Time's up. So wavy. Yeah. So baby, don't chase me. I hope you get home safely.
And we live, y'all. We are back. It's your girl Siobhan Noel, and this is Vonnie in the City on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. And I have my special guest in the house. Hey, Miss Peach. How are you,
Hey,
love?
Peachy, how are
Ah,
you?
that is so cute because that's her real name, y'all. Miss Daniela Peach. So I am so excited that you're here all the way from the Big Apple. How are you? How are you loving being back home?
You know what? It is amazing.
Yeah.
It really is. It's amazing. It's so funny because somebody said, "Oh, you went to high school here." I say yes, but I feel like I haven't left.
Yeah.
You know, you come back and you're around good people and you get a good company. It's just like, wow, I'm back. Like, you know.
Welcome back. So I want to start with what I usually call my M&Ms, motivational minutes, and I want to get your perspective as well. My question is: faith without works is dead, or is it what God has for you is for you? I think a lot of times we toggle with this idea, or some people just kind of I think go with both and be like, favor ain't fair, y'all.
But you know what? Favor is fair.
I think it's fair
Favor
too.
is
Yes.
fair. Favor is absolutely fair.
So I'll go first, and then you can
Okay.
kind of give me some feedback on what you think about it. So I feel like it's a dynamic duo. It's a combination of both. Like you can't just sit on your behind all day and not do nothing. And I feel like whether you believe in God, the circle of life, whatever it is, your higher power,
Right.
you have to put in something.
Yes.
Like nothing from nothing is nothing, no
Right.
matter how you fry that up, right? So if you put in the work in, you're gonna be blessed.
Absolutely.
Beyond measures. And that's just for me, that's my belief. So you gotta put the work in,
Right.
because faith without work is dead. But a lot of times you might be riding on 8, but you might get blessed on 10. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
that work you putting in is going to be blessed more than you can ever imagine. And sometimes it's going to be a combination of blood, sweat, and tears, but then kind acts or acts of kindness. And just good deeds. Like it's a good combo of different things to where you might feel like some things that you're being blessed with, you don't even deserve. But God sees your heart, and the things that you do, the unseen and all those type of things. And you just get blessed. Like I said, like you couldn't believe. What's your feedback on it? What's your thoughts?
So my thoughts is faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
In order to do something, to get something, you have to work for it. So prime example, you want to purchase a house. But if you don't get your credit together, if you don't do the research on the banks, if you don't see where you want to be locate, like where you want to look, without working, you're not gonna get a house,
right? Yeah.
It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So you have to work towards something, towards your goal, towards your deeds, whatever that is that you want.
Right.
But then what God has for you is for you.
Yeah.
So even I tell some of my clients, I say, no matter what you do, if this is meant for you to do, nothing can stop it. Nothing.
Nothing
if
can
God
stop me.
has
I'm all the way up.
all the way up.
Right.
So if God says, you know what, Siobhan, I want you to have this Michael Kors purse right here. That's for you. But you keep going to look at a Coach purse. No matter what you do, you're gonna be back to that Michael Kors purse.
Right.
Because that's what God intended. Nobody can surpass what He has for you. So it's just, it goes hand in hand, because you can't, faith without work is dead.
Period.
And what God has for you is for you. But I would both. I don't know. It's hard. That's hard.
Yeah.
Because with faith, with God as well, even what He has for you, still work towards it.
Yeah.
Because we can prolong our blessings.
Block them too sometimes, right?
We can keep doors open for so long, and the moment you close that door, God just bless you. And it's like, wow, I was waiting all this time.
Yeah.
That's all I had to do. So
you preaching tonight, Miss Peach. Tell everybody who you are and what you have going on, all your businesses and all that kind of good stuff too, real quick.
Well, thanks to my good friend Siobhan. She I was quite some years ago. I don't even remember, but I came to visit and I actually surprised her. And she was in her boutique, and she had when I was surprising her was a U-Haul person coming in.
Yes.
And I said, oh, I was like, oh, I hope I didn't disturb you. She's like, oh no. She's like, I'm a serial entrepreneur. And I laugh now because I also am a serial entrepreneur. As I am Danietta Peach, like the fruit, and I am a life coach. I'm a certified life coach. I own a daycare, Peachy Babies Learning Development Childcare. I am also an author of the ABCs of Facing Life's Adversities with Confidence. What else? I'm a parent of two.
Yes.
And I'm currently what else I'm doing? In the process.
A public speaker, a traveling public speaker. Yes.
And I'm also launching my coaching course. It's called Your Future is Forward. Don't look back, your future is forward. And that's pretty much all that I have going on right now.
Multiple streams of income. Yes. And you right. Like, I believe in that wholeheartedly. That time you came up here, I'm slinging U-Hauls and slinging dresses all at the same damn time. Right. Like, whatever's going to put some money in these pockets.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, man.
I forgot about that. People laugh all the time. I used to be an authorized U-Haul dealer. I forgot.
Yes. My goodness.
When I tell you I have done it, yes, ma'am.
And did you used to sell them Chick-fil-A biscuits at school when we were did you put me onto that, or did Marvin put me onto that?
I used to sell Chick-fil-A biscuits. Y'all.
She did ever since we were in high school.
Oh, God.
She used to sell Chick-fil-A. That's how I got hooked to the Chick-fil-A biscuits. In the morning time, I used to beg my sister every morning, I need $4 because Siobhan is going to be selling those Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit with cheese.
That is too funny. Yes, back in the day, y'all. Oh, my goodness.
It go a long way.
I know it.
God is good, healthy, and happy, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I was scrolling through social media today, as I often do. And an old story popped up that I wanted to kind of talk about today. And I always have my audience, and they listen with us and they laugh with us. But this subject matter is a little bit more on the serious side. But I wanted to, because I feel like it died down a little bit. Okay. And I heard Jada talk about it at her Red Table discussion a couple days ago. And so I was like, you know what? We need to bring that subject back up. So I wanted to talk about Breonna Taylor. I know that's been over 2 years now, or has it been 3? So it's been a few years. Right. And it's kind of died down a little bit, and so it's crazy though, because of course we know the story or whatnot, and I'll just kind of revisit some of the highlights from the story. But till this day, the only person that was arrested in that story was her boyfriend. And to me, when like I was sharing earlier, I feel like, 6 people can see a story or get told a message or whatever, and we'll have different perspectives on that. 6 different perspectives, because we're all looking through our different lens from our different experiences, from our different, place in the room where we came in on the story. So we're going to have different perspectives. So from my perspective, I think that couldn't be more horrible. Of course, you have mom who's, birthed this young woman. Right. But the reason to me that it was so horrible, because this man was present when it happened and was arrested. And so most of you know my story. I've firsthandly seen my significant other die. Right. So to see your significant other die in such a brutal way and then get arrested for it and be detained for so long that you can't attend funeral, memorial, nothing.
Right.
That's crazy. That is just absolutely ludicrous. So I just wanted to kind of...
It's an emotional torture.
Right.
Torture. And so I don't think I ever shared this with anyone. Nothing to that magnitude, but years where I reside at now, I've been living there for 9 years, and there was a woman next door to me, and I guess I'm not quite sure if she was suicidal or whatever the case may be, but the officers came into my house through my
No.
kitchen.
No.
But and it startled me because I'm like shocked, like, okay, what's going on? He's like, oh, I guess it's next door, and that was it.
Stop.
So for that to happen to her, what if it was something different? What if it was the same situation and they just walked into my house, the wrong house?
Right.
You understand? So it's like that's just it's ludicrous, and it's emotional torture because not only was he there, but like you said, he can't grieve his girlfriend properly. He's not able to attend the funeral. Like no one's there for him.
Right.
He lost his significant other. Like, just pause and think about that. Like, what if that was you?
Lost her, but then was also arrested for murder. Then they dropped the charges down to assault and attempted murder. If I'm not mistaken, he was in jail for months. For some time. So he got released almost a year, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have all the specifics. Right. I want to be real careful and tread lightly to make sure that I'm not misspeaking. But so this is barely over 2 years old. So that's still pretty fresh. And so now you come out, and he was sharing on the interview that's literally 4 days old that he's just now starting his life. He just finally got his own place again because of the trauma. Yeah. Right. And literally sleeps with his gun side by side because he doesn't know who is going to come in his house. It's just unbelievable. It's just like, okay, so they came in with a no-knock warrant. How does that work? I mean, so you have absolutely no privacy? Is that what like...
See, I don't know. It's different. Like that's in New York State. I don't think we have that. Like you can't. Okay. You have to knock first.
Well, they physically knocked, but I guess with the no knock warrant or whatnot, you don't have to wait for an answer. So I guess the knocking part is a courtesy, and I don't know a lot in regards to law either. Right. So the way they described the story, and this was the family, the mom of Brianna, sister of Brianna, and boyfriend. So they're telling from this perspective. The police knocked 3 times. They're in the back, waking up wee hours in the morning, and they're just like, who is it? And no one is announcing, hey, it's the police, it's your neighbor, it's whomever, the neighborhood drug dealer, like, who is it? And so no one's announcing. So now he's the young man who is has a license to carry, so is well in his legal realm, and at this point does what anybody else would do. Somebody's banging on your door at wee hours in the morning, you get your weapon. That sounds about right to me too. In your home, you're standing your ground. That we have that law. And so he shot first, but he was well within right to do so. And then they just went in, literally, from that apartment to the apartment next door. Now, interestingly enough, the evidence that was presented before the jury was only the evidence on the shooting done at the property next door, the apartment next door. And that's why no one has been formally indicted or charges brought against them or anything else. Why? That's why. Like, what?
Right.
That place, no one was even hurt. I don't even think it was anyone in it at the time. I'm not sure, but no one was hurt at all. So why are we even having that conversation? Right. Then on the flip side, another side of the story, the young man, her boyfriend, calls his mom first and then calls 911 second. 911, I don't know if anyone has ever had to make a 911 call that's listening. That's a joke. I've had to make 911 calls on a few occasions. I've been put on hold. My late grandmother at the time was 90, was having a stroke. It took the ambulance almost 30 minutes to get to my home. 20 some minutes to be exact. I might as well have lifted her and taken her myself.
Right.
So And I guess every 911 place is different, but I can just speak on my experience. I haven't had pleasant 911 call experiences.
It's based upon the emergency.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I really believe that based on where you're calling from.
Yep. I agree with
Because
that too.
there our life is valued by zip codes,
Demographics,
yes,
area
economics,
codes, everything.
yeah. So I bet if I lived in a different zip code, that turnaround time would have been a little bit different.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
So this gentleman calls. He got frustrated. He hung up. He calls Brianna's mom at this time and tells her what happened. So she, of course, done what any mother would do: get up out of her bed and comes.
Right.
She gets to the scene. They told her that her child is taken in an ambulance to the hospital. She gets to the hospital, waits almost 2 hours to find out that not only is she not there, but there's no one by that name en route. So she goes back to the scene and is there till the next day and finds out the next day, after staying there all this time, her baby has been in that apartment on the ground for 11 hours.
Because they took the boyfriend.
In the back of the police car.
When y'all know y'all done wrong, y'all do things that don't make sense because y'all did.
Hop on the mic. Right. Yes, you're right. Because they just basically sent her on a merry-go-round trip, like just slingshotting her around, when this woman is already at an emotional level that we probably couldn't even imagine, right?
Couldn't.
And again, I know a smidget just from with my incident with my late husband, getting to the hospital, even if you know that person has been shot that many times and the reality of it is that they're dead, as their immediate next of kin, you still have an ounce of hope.
Absolutely.
That are they okay? And it may very well seem unrealistic or whatnot, but from someone that has been in that shoe, I know I had that ounce of hope. You know what I mean? Even though my husband had been on the beach for 45 minutes, not breathing, I'm still in hustle mode and hateful and trying to get to the hospital, and it's my husband alive. It still didn't hit me till the doctor came out and pronounced my husband dead, even though it was obvious to everybody else. So I can relate to what she was going through, that hope.
Right.
You know what I mean? She wanted to see her daughter. And they're sending her from one end to the
and the whole time.
Yeah. That's so. It's just, where's the empathy? Where is the? I don't even know if I want to use this term with police in the same sentence, but where's the bedside manners? Where's the
morals and values and integrity?
Yeah.
Serve with integrity. Where is nobody had it?
That's crazy. The young man, her boyfriend, said that when they put him in the back of the police car, that's the neighborhood they grew up in, or the area and whatnot. And so some of the officers were previous classmates when they were in high school. So he knew them. And they either were snickering or just looked at him and didn't, act like they didn't know him. Not one ever vouched for him or said, hey, wait a minute, or anything. And they didn't care.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, they just didn't care. And I mean, I get it. You're doing your job, and some things may be out of your spectrum, pay grade, or control, if you will. But if you don't stand for something,
you'll fall for anything.
So it's like, y'all don't say anything to this young man, even offer condolences or a hug, something. Like, I'll follow you to the station. Can I make a call? Anything. Like, but even the least. Yeah. So I just don't know. It was just, and I've heard, I heard the story before, and it wasn't new news to me. I'm familiar with the Breonna Taylor story, but it was eye opening again, because I had really not heard much from his perspective, because he was incarcerated for so long, and so he didn't have the opportunity to speak, share, or tell. And so it was eye opening for me to hear from his perspective, the significant other that witnessed it firsthand, and got taken away in handcuffs. I was flabbergasted. I was just like, what is going on? And I'm going a little left off subject, but that is also why I don't believe in the death penalty, because our justice system is a piece of nothing.
Right.
So you're about to or will take someone's life on a completely flawed system. How many people we know for a matter of fact are on death row for something they did not do?
Or just incarcerated for something that they didn't tell
Right.
about. I know some people very close to me in the same situation.
So again, I know that's a little bit left on what we're talking about, but just to talk about in general the flawed system that we have, even if it was flawless, I still don't believe in it because I believe that you're playing God at that point.
Right.
That's my stance.
Right.
Like, I don't believe in an eye for eye. And I know some people have told me, well, you've never had someone murdered, so you would want your loved one to, you would want to have retaliation. And you're right, I haven't. I've never had a loved one murdered, but I know my heart and I know my beliefs. And yes, I want them to seek justice after the person, but killing them doesn't bring them back. My loved one, for one. Two, I believe, again, that's playing God.
Right.
And especially when none of us are there to see 100% of the circumstances.
Absolutely.
One person's dead, the other person is speaking under pressure like we couldn't imagine, right?
Right.
If they even testify.
Right.
So yeah, I just don't know.
And you know, and this is
Yeah, go
this-
ahead. Yeah, go. Oh no, sorry.
this is also off a topic a little bit. However, we know, I don't know who I was speaking to, but I said it's funny how one person is murdered and the other person that murdered the person is going to jail, incarcerated. Then the other family don't forgive the person, but you knew what the person was doing. Let's just say like people that's like in the streets or doing things they don't have any business doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my father used to say, "You live by the streets, you die by the streets."
Yeah.
You know, and it's mind-boggling to me sometimes how that happens, because it could have been the other way around.
Right.
Or let's even go with domestic violence.
Okay.
If the one person don't make it out, but the other person, sometimes it's both parties fighting.
Yeah.
So what if that person would have died instead of them dying?
Right.
Like they don't think about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they want retaliation, or why did you take this person from me, or but that person could have took them from them too. So where is that? Like it could have been very well them opposed to that. I think if everyone had that, mind frame.
And that's what we were talking about earlier,
Right.
perspective. Yeah,
right.
Everybody has a different perspective on what happened. We all looking at the same exact scenario,
yes.
but it's 6 of us looking at it.
Right.
We're going to have 6 different
perspectives.
Yeah, that's crazy though. And again, circling back, with as much as we can talk about, complain about, or have our opinions about our justice systems and things of that nature, we got to get out and vote, y'all.
Right.
We got to get out and vote to, and don't get me wrong, all of it won't change in one term, one election, one, any of it. But so it's going to be an ongoing battle. It's going to be an ongoing fight. So for me, I've voted every time that I've had the opportunity since I've been 18 years old.
Yeah.
And so I want to encourage you, even if you haven't, start November 8th and continue to get out there. And then it doesn't stop on election day. Hold these people that we vote into office accountable. All these things that they promise us in these campaigns. Now we want to see it.
It happens.
Yeah. We need to be in attendance at these town hall meetings and our board of commissioner meetings and our school board meetings and all these meetings that are available and open to the public. They have public records. We can look at the financials. It's so many things that we have to our access, but we don't.
Right.
And then I'm going to go real left with this one, y'all. I want to encourage you, my listeners tonight or today, to consider running for office as well. The office that I'm running for, this young lady has been sitting in that seat for 12 years and not once has anyone ever ran against her.
Wow.
Not once. Wow. So why not?
Why not?
I mean, it's an administrative role.
Right.
So most of us listening are qualified for that
Right,
position,
right,
unless
right.
you have a heinous crime or something that disqualifies you for holding office.
You got it.
So why
I
why
vote for you.
not?
I vote for vote Shavonda Webb.
So I mean, and it's so many.
Yeah.
David Scott, for those that are local, that man has been in his position for since I've been voting, and I think it's been like 3 people that have ran against him. I want to consider, and don't feel like you can't. Don't have that defeated mentality of I won't run for office because I can't win.
Right.
Or whatever. I don't know what keeps people from it. Maybe maybe I'm just radical. I don't know what it is, but I want to encourage you to do something,
Right.
something big, bold, and whatever.
Courageous.
Yeah, whatever it is that it. I mean, and I get it if politics is not your thing. Because I never considered myself to be a quote unquote politician, and so that was one of the reasons it took me so long. Because I've been pondering on this for years, saying that I wanted to run, but I didn't consider myself to be a quote unquote politician. And so then this position, after doing my homework and research and whatnot, I felt like this was better suited for me. And in essence, it's not completely political. I won't be implementing new initiatives and programs and things of that nature. However, I will be able to make a change in my community.
Right.
And so that's what, resonated with me, if you will.
Yep.
So anywho, we kind of brought in a few different things, but they all kind of ran together, whether it was the politics, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys every chance I get that I'm running, and the Breonna Taylor, as we continue to say her name and we continue to stand on her behalf, and spread the word out there. And I don't know what's being done in that local jurisdiction to hold the police and the DA and everybody involved accountable, but I hope and I pray that they continue to, even when it gets like it's never ending or no light at the end of the tunnel. I hope and pray that they continue to fight and push forward and move forward. But on a lighter note, because I know we had a heavy show today. Usually we giggling and acting a plum fool, but I just had some things I wanted to share, y'all. But on a lighter note, we are going to end the show because we just got a couple more minutes before we close out. I want to play a quick game. Danietta and I are going to play real quick, and would you rather? So I know plenty of you people have heard it, and so if you are watching on the live, chime in. Tell me what would you do? What would you rather? So our first one is, and this could be, it doesn't even have to necessarily be vacation, but road trip or fly. What's your preference? What's yours, Danya? Do you want to go first with yours?
That's fine.
Okay.
You know what? I actually like both.
You like
But
both?
so this trip I actually flew. But I like road trips.
You do?
I like road trips. It depends. Like, me and the children, we go on trips all the time.
Uh-huh.
So I would rather road trip.
I like a road trip if it's under like 5 hours.
Okay.
But to be honest, if I could fly to work, I would. Like, I just be wanting to catch flights. Like, plane me, please. Like,
But living in Atlanta, I would probably agree with you.
Cause that traffic.
That traffic, boy, I tell you.
And they laugh at me at work because I have a lot of globes. I love globes, and so my boss kind of overkilled with gifting me globes. And so people was like, "Why you got all these globes in your office?" And I'm like, "Cause I'm gonna spin one, and I'm gonna catch a flight tonight. So mind your business." But anyway, I just love flights. I mean, that's just, again, if I could catch a flight to work, like I can get rid of my car and buy a plane, and
okay,
that's, yeah.
I'm gonna try. I will. I'm joking around, but I really, road trips are amazing.
Okay.
This trip, flying and renting, and it was just like, ooh, because I didn't do all the packing and packing the clothes, packing the car, getting in and out of the 5 hours. Let me get out. So it was amazing. It was amazing.
Balance, I think, was good.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. College degree or life experience? You want me? You go ahead.
Life experience.
Life
for
experience.
Me. Life experience, definitely.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. We got a minute, y'all. I go with life experience as well. I know, and don't get me wrong, I don't downplay a college education,
Right.
but my personal preference, life experience.
Yeah.
Hotel or Airbnb, y'all. And y'all probably know my answer from last week. But go ahead, Danielle, what's yours?
Airbnb.
Airbnb.
Yes.
I had such a yucky experience, so I'm a hotel girl. But I probably would have said Airbnb if y'all would have asked me before September 25th. And then our last one: casual dating or committed relationship.
I'm gonna go with committed relationship.
Yeah, I'm not a casual dater kind of girl. If you take me to dinner, we get married. That's just, like I don't know. I'm just not interested in the whole. You know what? I hate the ongoing questions of what's your favorite color, what's your favorite food,
Right.
what's your favorite. Yeah.
We can commit and start and date at the same time.
But y'all, I appreciate y'all. That's our time. I had a blast per usual. But make sure y'all catch us same time next week, same time, same place. We out, y'all.
We out.